Welcome. We are back. Red day for the market. Pulling back a little bit, meeting resistance. We have CPI data tomorrow morning. Yeah, the ARKK ETF sharp pullback today, down 5%. The NASDAQ was down over 1%. The SPY was down about 0.5%. Russell 2000 down over 1%. So pullbacks across the board, not that surprising. But in between, it was very choppy. You did get a lot of intraday choppiness. Like, there was a good few hours where like you just really didn't move at all, and you were just kind of getting fake outs in both directions. For me, it made for a pretty tough day trading environment. I had a great day trading yesterday, which we talked about. Kind of the opposite today. Just a lot of like little fake outs and stuff on like the low time frame charts and indecision, and it was just kind of a mess, at least for me. But there's always tomorrow. We'll see what the CPI brings. I'm going to talk about crypto, then other markets, then we'll get into the stock market. Then we have a special guest joining us on the stream tonight. Then I'll talk about the swings, which are pulling back. Thankfully, most of them have already hit their targets. And yeah, it's just kind of like a little bit of a red day pullback stream. CLOV was down a crazy amount today. You know, not the best day for the market, but we've had a great market for the past few weeks, and days like these, they're going to come. And this is not going to be the only one. There's going to be, you know, I'm not saying it's going to be literally tomorrow or the day after, but there's going to be more days like these. You know, you're not just going to keep going straight up forever. So it's just a part of the stock market, nothing too crazy. So yeah, let's get started with crypto, which also pulled back today. Every time I go live, for some reason, my body wants me to sneeze. I don't know why. It's like I'm allergic to streaming or something. But let's get started with Bitcoin, which isn't really doing much. Kind of did break this demand line that we talked about last night on the stream, so you did get that breach. You're kind of just back in this consolidation area that you've spent the most of the last week at. You know, you were above it for a bit, you were under it for a bit, but for the most part, you've just been around this 23K level for like a week now. So I just view this as a period of indecision on Bitcoin. I think you need more data to get more of like a short-term bias. For me, this looks like a very 50-50 area, at least short-term. I don't see any major technical that like stands out to me. You clearly have this resistance developing over here, but you also are clearly making higher lows. So we just gotta wait until the trend shifts in either direction, whether that's a continuation or a reversal. Anything's possible, just waiting for more data. Pretty much the same thing for most other cryptos. Litecoin, unfortunately, did print a bearish engulfing candle today, and it did fail to break over this previous high. So, you know, this is kind of a little bit of a bearish setup short term, a little bit of a double top forming here. Hopefully you can just hold like this more major low. If it does start to sell off, that might just depend on Bitcoin. Then we have Link, which was actually kind of flat today, or actually was up almost 2% today. And it actually hit the first target yesterday, so not bad. I mean, we also had the Ethereum crypto trade hit 2 of the targets. The second target was a 50% gain. So, you know, Bitcoin and Litecoin kind of lagging a little bit, but we've already had Chainlink and Ethereum, 2 other crypto swings, do pretty well. And then we have other markets. The US 10-year is kind of continuing to just do nothing in this little bear flag. This still looks like a bearish formation to me. You have that textbook head and shoulders, and then kind of on the breakdown, you're now bear flagging. If these variables play out, you know, this is what I'd be looking for next. Retest these lows. If it gets invalidated, then you've got resistance around like 3.1%. We have crude oil futures, doji candle. You do have some classic bullish divergence developing like we talked about last night, but you are still under the major $93 level of support. So that's now your resistance. That was pretty much the high of the day. I mean, 91 was really your high of the day, but not too far. Actually, no, it was 92. I think it says 92.65. So, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit tougher to stream on nights like these because just nothing crazy is happening. It's kind of the same thing. It's very predictable price action. Gold moving a little bit higher after breaking above that 1780 level. Silver just consolidating after the bullish engulfing yesterday. Really not that much happened in other markets. The dollar currency broke out. You've still got the hidden bullish divergence developing there. The Hang Seng Index is testing the supply line. Premium members, you know the new swing that was alerted today. I'll leave it at that. And if you want to find out what that is, it's the first link in the description. But yeah, that's really it. I mean, I'm not going to overcomplicate the other markets and stuff. Very dry, boring day. So we're just going to move on to stocks and let's talk about what's going on here. Kind of the same thing. Again, you know, you're just still in the same exact area for the most part. You pull back a little bit. You still have the bearish variables in my opinion. You're testing a breakdown. You could look at this red trend line I have on the 4-hour. I've also got this 1-hour channel charted. It looks like you're kind of testing a breakdown here. And that's really where you're at. You kind of are getting a little bit of short-term support in this level over here on the SPY around like 409 to 410. So that's really where you put in your lows on the 5th of August and today for the most part. So you're trying to hold that, but you also did top out at the same exact high from the beginning of June. And I saw somebody share this in the Discord, and I actually didn't even think about this, but this is very, very, very familiar to the past. And I've already been talking about this. We've spent the whole entire week talking about how important this zone for the SPY is because it was major lows earlier in the year, and then it was your major highs, and now it's your major highs again. But it's not only that, okay? You can see, let me actually delete all this again. You can see that we've pretty much spent the last week consolidating in this zone around over here, just like we did in this zone over here. Same exact prices, very similar price action. And guess what led to this huge dump for the market? A little flash crash we saw after the first week of June. CPI. So I forgot who said in the Discord. I could probably look it up. But that is actually really interesting to think about. AK, I see you in the chat as well. Crazy how we were in this range for 8 days and CPI tanked us last time, and today is day 8 of the same range with CPI tomorrow. Like, this is literally the same exact thing that happened what, 2 months ago? Almost like, let me see, when was this? Yeah, exactly 2 months ago. This is literally where we were. So it's just kind of crazy to think about that. And now we have CPI tomorrow. So the big question is, do we repeat history or do we make a new formation for the market and break above the critical resistance area? So this is a big test for tomorrow. If you watched last night's stream, I was already saying, you know, how we react to this huge make or break level might just come down to the CPI numbers. That's probably the main focus this week. So we're going to see what those numbers are like tomorrow. I mean, other than that, just watch the levels, chart the patterns, and wait for the news to affect the market in some sort of manner. And if it doesn't, then we got to wait longer. But it's really just a time of waiting for data. You're at a very critical zone. This is literally it, all right? Simplest way to view the market. Either you break down, right? Break down from this uptrend we've been in, and we'll kind of take it step by step if that happens. Or you break out of your resistance. Okay, it's one of the two is going to happen for sure. It is a certainty. You will either break this upsloping trend line or you will break above these highs. One of them will happen. I don't know when, probably soon, but it is a certainty that one of these will happen. So it's just a question of waiting until one of those things happen. And it's a 50-50 in terms of which happens first. So that's really all I'm waiting for on the SPY. Then we have the Qs, which are pretty similar, just kind of back testing this little yellow zone. Actually pretty big yellow zone. It was your lows last May. And then this March, even your highs in June. So retesting that. The Russell 2000 did have that shooting star candle. We were talking about this last time on the stream, all of those different shooting star candles across the board on the 4-hour, on the daily. Those definitely did kind of play out today. As you could see, we pulled back a little bit more. And you also did fill this gap up from yesterday on the Russell. So that's where you're at. I don't actually know. We were looking at this as a bearish shark when it was at the 886, right? And that was over here and it kind of got invalidated. But up over here, take a look at this. A bearish shark can either play out at an 886 retrace, which would have been over here and it didn't, or a 1.13, and this is kind of pretty close to that. So it's just kind of like the other form of the bearish shark that's now developing for the Russell 2000, and you do have that 4-hour classic bearish divergence. The one thing I will say though is, at least for right now, you are above the important 188 level. You're still above that level for right now, but if that level does break, then who knows what could happen after that. So keep an eye on this little formation for the Russell. Made a nice breakout move, but we were talking about this harmonic like weeks ago. It got invalidated for a little bit, but it might be back to scare off some small caps. Speaking of small caps, a lot of earnings this week. Let's go over to the Discord. Today we had Coinbase after the close. That was down 5% after hours and down 10% during market hours. We had Roblox as well. That was down 3% during market hours, but it fell 17% after hours, so a pretty big drop there. The trade desk was up 18% after hours. Nice move there. And then tomorrow we have Disney, Jack in the Box, Wix, Jumia. I don't know if Print's watching tonight, but Jumia, Wendy's, Fox, Sonos. So a lot of different ones going on right now. So we'll see how all these kind of move things around. And then the big one today was kind of the ARK ETF. You know, most of the indices are red, but the ARK ETF really did kind of put in a pretty rough pullback today. And again, this is after the shooting star candle, the bearish candle we were talking about last night on stream. And now I just noticed this, but you actually do have classic bearish divergence. So short term, you're starting to get a little bit of some bearish signals. This is all kind of started from when you tested this 52 level, and now you're actually back under the $50 level, which are all of these highs over here. So you made a nice move on the rage breakout, but the variables are kind of changing for a little bit right now. Let's actually go back to that 4-hour view and take a look at this. It was kind of like a fake breakout to the upside for this wedge, and now, you know, keep an eye on how you react to this level. Let's say it dips a little bit more. This will be the key zone. Do you bounce off this previous resistance and trend line and use it as support, or do you break down and then move over to your next supports? So keep an eye on that. Growth stocks have had a very nice move over the past few weeks. A pullback is not really that surprising when you look at a lot of these stocks that have went up 20, 30, 40%. Of course, not all of them, but a good amount of them. So yeah, you had a lot of euphoria, literally like, what was it, yesterday morning when AMC and GameStop were going crazy and all of that stuff was taking place, and now you're kind of seeing a little bit of a pullback. It's very similar. I mean, like we keep getting these same formations where it's like you kind of start off with like the large caps, the major tech ones. If you remember, those were the first ones to really start moving and breaking out, right? If you look at the QQQ. And then it's like the money starts flowing into like small caps, mid caps, growth stocks. And then you get like those meme stocks kind of popping. And it's like, I remember a few times now where it's like the meme stocks like popping were kind of like the signal for the market to start turning back the other way. Like it's just really interesting that it's like a few times now, you know, either it's a coincidence that these market pullbacks kind of end the meme stock runs, or maybe the meme stock runs are kind of like, okay, maybe, again, this is insane speculation, but just imagine for fun, we're just imagining the institutions are like, oh, look, all these retail traders are trading these speculative meme stocks. Maybe it's just too much euphoria in the market. Maybe we should start pulling back a little bit and start selling again. I'm not saying they're literally doing that. I'm just saying it's like, that's kind of what it's felt like, at least in the last few times that we've seen these like runs where you wake up one day and GameStop and AMC are up 20% and people just start to get like, all right, maybe the market's getting a little bit too crazy, and I don't know. With all that being said, I actually do have a special guest who is very, very familiar with GameStop, AMC, who's done a great job of sharing charts on them and a bunch of other stocks and helping out in the Discord and doing timestamps for all the streams, which I'm sure all of you love. So let me bring him into a call. Let's see what his thoughts on everything are, and then yeah, we'll keep it going. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on?
Talk again?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, let me put up your volume 1 second. Go again?
Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah, it sounds good. What's going on? How are you? All right, let me introduce you really quick. I kind of already did before I hopped in the call, but everybody, this is Zeek, one of the goats in the Discord. Sorry, Mehdi, if you heard that. Mehdi's probably taking the timestamps too, so he's a little bit salty right now, I guess. But yeah, Zeek, you've done a great job. Kind of give everybody a little bit of an intro on like how long you've been trading. You know, I know most of the story, but just for everybody watching the stream, like what your journey has been, how you found the free trading movement, and how things have gone for you.
Yeah, definitely. So I started trading beginning of 2021. Kind of towards the end of 2020 after lockdowns and everything. I just kind of wanted to find something new to put my time into, and stumbled across like obviously Bitcoin was going crazy during COVID, and the stock market was as well, but I didn't really know too much. So I didn't really know a lot when I started, obviously like everybody. Was only trading common shares like once in a while. My dad also was trading the stock market, so I learned a few things from him. But yeah, I found the FTM through Clover, which is pretty cool. Back probably like almost a year ago now. Maybe a little less. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I've just been loving the streams, love the Discord. It's awesome. Just try to watch it every day. Everything that I've learned pretty much, like everything before joining this group was nothing compared to what I've learned since I've joined by just being in the Discord and watching the streams, watching the course as well was very helpful. But yeah, no, I just like to day trade options. I'm trying to build a little bit of a longer term portfolio, but nothing crazy there. Just trying to get the day trades down and get in the flow with that.
So
Yeah.
sorry to cut you off. Like for anybody who's in the position that you were in before, you know, let's say they're like they have an understanding of trading. They're kind of doing their own thing, but they really haven't like explored like the whole entire like process and craft that I try to teach and everybody else in the FTM. Like where would you tell somebody who's like getting started with all of our world, like where to start like learning things? Like how do I put this? Like what do you think is like the few topics that somebody should get down before any other topic in terms of like learning technical analysis and risk management? What are like a few pieces of advice that you would give to somebody who was in your shoes? Like imagine you're in your own shoes from like a year and a half ago, looking back to that. what would you say to somebody like watching the stream right now who's kind of on the fence about what all of this stuff means on like all these charts and stuff? Like, what kind of tips would you give them?
Um, I would say the main thing is that it takes a lot of time and dedication and like studying, um, just to try and learn everything, because it's not easy to just like get on, open a chart, and just like learn something and then be good at it. Obviously, anything takes time and a lot of practice, but I definitely spent like so many hours just um, reading up on things and how the market moves, um, learning about how institutions like to position themselves during different like waves, like because the market just goes up and down. Um, Honestly, I've read one book. Probably should read some more, but reading books about like successful and like big name traders is always good. YouTube
What was
video.
the book you read?
Um,
You remember?
it was literally like I don't remember. That sounds really
That's
bad,
cool. It's cool.
but I hate reading. um,
Yeah,
no, yeah, I would just say try to learn as much as possible. It definitely can be overwhelming, so try to focus on a few things at a time. Try to get a grasp of those few things, and then you can branch off and kind of build on that. Um, Also, using a simulator for trading just to practice with fake money was something
yeah,
that I did in the beginning. Um, Kind of takes a lot of the real stress away of actually losing or using your own money that could potentially be lost. Um, it's not really the same, but it definitely gives you some good experience and helps you learn a lot about it. But yeah.
for sure. And also, I wanted to ask you, with everything like going on in terms of the overall markets right now, what are your thoughts on about on where we currently are? Because I always give my opinions every night on stream, but I think it's cool if everybody else can like get somebody else's opinions, every once in a while. So, like, how are you feeling about just CPI and what the Fed's doing, what the charts are looking like? What are your overall kind of feelings about the stock market for like the next couple of months?
Um, To be completely honest, I'm not that good of a fundamentals guy. I've been trying
Hmm.
to learn more about like macro things and economic things about the market because it's important. My thing is kind of just the charts. But yeah, CPI's tomorrow. I don't know. It can go either way. I don't really like trying to predict things. Um, but
Yeah,
for
I'm
some
very
reason,
similar.
yeah, I just got a gut feeling that we end up going higher, and that's not to say to anybody like buy calls or go long or anything. I don't know. I just have a gut feeling. But on the other side, there's a lot of bearish variables that I'm seeing on the charts. Um, like I
Yeah,
saw you were talking about some of the rising wedges and flags that are forming on daily time frames on the major markets, and um, the VIX is in a falling wedge with like bullish divergence, and we're testing some really big previous supports from like the past year as resistance for the second time, like when the last CPI print came out back in June. Um, so I don't know. I think for some reason I don't know why, but I feel like we might go higher. But the charts are telling me that there's a chance that we go lower. The probability that we go lower.
I'm sorry, I'm just answering something in the chat. Okay, and then also, I don't know if you can share your screen right now, but I want to, would you be interested in sharing your screen and like looking at charts for a second?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, let me go to Discord, and tonight, I think it would be cool. You could kind of give, because I like talking about AMC and GameStop every night. I want to let you do it tonight. Tell everybody what you're seeing. I know you're always looking at those two charts. Let me see if I can go full screen here.
Can you see now?
Yeah, I'm just changing my layout. Let's see. Yeah, I think it should be good.
Yeah. For AMC on the daily, really didn't like yesterday's candle, and today wasn't really pretty either. But it did break over a pretty key level that I had, like 2230-ish. A bunch of highs and lows over here. Um, Lower time frames though. Um, keeping an eye on this wedge over here. Right before it closed, I was talking about this in premium, kind
Yep.
of testing this breakout of this wedge here, some divergence. So that's definitely what I'm watching. I also filled that gap. We were talking about that this morning.
Yeah, it's an interesting
Um,
reward to risk heading into tomorrow. I mean, again, not financial advice, but placing a stop like under those lows from today, because if that breaks, like you're probably going to see some lower prices.
yeah,
And then if it breaks out of the wedge, then that's a bullish pattern and a bullish trend with hidden bullish divergence.
right.
And like
And
we've seen,
volume
like,
is declining as well,
yeah,
which is
like this
interesting.
is kind of like a textbook like pullback formation for AMC and GameStop, and we've seen like these kind of patterns a lot before.
Yeah. Um, GameStop, I don't know.
Yeah, I would say like
It's
AMC
kind of
looks a little
weird.
bit, yeah, AMC looks a little bit stronger in my opinion. GameStop's, it's just kind of like the way that it's flagging is just not like as pretty, if
Yeah,
that makes sense.
it's not clean. Yeah. The
Yeah,
divergence is there too, but I was thinking the same thing. AMC definitely looks better on lower time frames. But on the weekly chart, I've been keeping an eye on this for a little while now. Um, Kind of been like in this big, I kind of drew a big supply and demand zone trend. I don't know.
yeah,
Um, and it's finally broken out of it, which is pretty interesting. Last week it had a bullish engulfing candle after a pin bar right here. Um, so I don't know. That's something to keep an eye on too. Maybe it just hangs around here for this week, and then next week maybe you get a bounce off it. But this is the supply line since the squeeze that happened all the way back in early 2021, which I don't know. It's just
yeah. Like, this,
interesting.
yeah, this could take some time, and the thing with that is like a lot can change fundamentally by the time like these technicals even able to play out, like, especially with the market too. But like a pattern this large on a weekly time frame, and this is the first time you broke it since you had a crazy squeeze in January 2021. Like this is something to pay attention to for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. I do not support AMC or GameStop really fundamentally like at all. Um, I just like to trade
Yeah, I
them.
mean the charts, I mean they work, man. Not all the
Yeah,
time, but a good amount of the time.
yeah, for
And
sure.
also, talked about earlier when you joined the call, and it's a little bit of a rough day for it. But what are your thoughts on the pullback that CLOV is currently seeing in the earnings and everything?
Yeah. I didn't think that the earnings were too bad. I think that the previous earnings, like multiple in a row, were kind of just like blew it out the park kind of thing. Um, and people were probably expecting that. The CEO change news was probably a reason that it pulled back more.
Yep.
Um, I don't know if people really like to hear that, but I think it's a good move for the long term. Um, but for the chart, it's trying to hold on to the zone. Um,
Did you see the 5 minute today? Go take a look at it. It's like I literally just hit the off button. It just stopped moving,
yeah, it was
and
pretty
it's crazy
strange.
with all the
There's
volume
not,
too.
yeah, yeah, I don't know. It was strange. I was keeping an eye on it like a couple times. I
Like
checked it,
you'd
but
expect like with such a large gap, like you'd see some volatility with all the volume, with the earnings, with the market, like, and it just did nothing. Like it gapped, it sold off a little bit more, and then it literally just barcoded the whole entire day. It's just so weird.
yeah, and like the other thing is like with CPI tomorrow, um, especially after earnings like this, club will probably follow the market whichever way it goes. So the market goes higher, it probably will hold this zone and push back up towards the top of it, which would be really good. If not, like a smaller support around 265, even 250. But it had a really big run up into earnings,
Yeah,
which I don't think a lot of people are really taking that into account. Um, a lot of people, I mean, stock's just been beaten down like crazy, so everybody just wants moon, 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 moon.
yeah.
You know how retail traders are, but I don't know. I think that selling kind of was not not out of the question. I didn't really
And
like
that
the
high
price
it put
action
in,
talks about.
the high it put in yesterday was actually the 200-day moving average too. That was the first time it touched it since like I think September 2021 last year. I don't know if you have the 200-day
Oh,
on your chart.
I
Yeah,
don't.
if you see
But
like
yeah, it
that,
was
you
like
see that
over
high
here with the,
to the left. That, yeah, that one. That was like the last time
and
it.
that was the 50% move.
Yeah, it was. So
Yeah.
it's the first time it's actually touched the 200-day moving average since then.
Yeah. Something else that I actually noticed on the daily, I like using the EMAs a lot, um, even on lower time frames.
Yep.
Um, but when you have lower time frame or like level EMAs like the 9, for example, crossing over higher ones, usually that's a very bullish sign. And the 9 crossed over the 21 here and then the 50 here. And I did some like analysis, but every time it did that in the past, it like ran a lot, and I'm sure it's similar to other stocks, but
Yeah.
that actually played out pretty well. I had some calls that ran pretty nicely on that.
I used to use EMAs just like that as well. Like I'd see like every time like a certain EMA crossed over another one, like what happens. Like back in the like back to like again like last fall with CLOV, I used to do that all the time. Also on like low time frames, like 5 minute stuff. A lot of people use the 9 EMA as well, like very similar to like how you use like the VWAP. I know a
Yeah,
lot of traders use the VWAP and the 9 EMA um, as well for like a support resistance line intraday.
yeah, that's actually the two main things that I use. I use the 9 EMA and then and VWAP as well, because so many traders use it, so it's
Yeah.
a good reference point, definitely.
I used to use that as well when I was using. I used to. I don't know if you. I think you remember, like back in like yeah, like last fall in premium, a lot of like the day trades and stuff. When I would share the charts, you remember when I would share it on Thinkorswim, like the low
Um,
time frame stuff.
yeah, yep,
Yeah, I used to like. I don't know why, but like all my like day trading, I used to like just use Thinkorswim charting. I just like the data on it better at the time, but it's just like the indicators are nowhere near like trading views in my opinion. So I stopped. But when I was doing that, yeah, I'd use the 9 EMA quite a bit. For me, like it felt like it worked well, like when a stock was moving like slowly. But when you start getting like those like crazier moves, like that's when it kind of was a little bit inconsistent for me.
hmm yeah. I like using it, especially on the hourly time frame, um, especially the 9 EMA specifically. Like when you have a break over the 9 EMA, you usually get a pretty nice move as long as you can confirm it. Just like for here, as an
Yeah,
example, like this was based off of earnings, but he reclaimed it and then just
that
ran
orange
like
line is your
crazy.
9 EMA.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
All the way
mean, look
went.
at the whole entire trend. Like it just keeps bouncing off of it really nicely. Apart from like those like few days, like
Mhm.
or those few hours, whatever. It's not really chart, but yeah, it looks like it works out very nicely.
Yeah. So for tomorrow, I don't know. I don't like CPI days, but the charts are showing me that there's a chance we go down with the VIX like this, and then the other trends that we saw on buy and QQQ, the VIX is in this
Yeah,
falling wedge here, which
I
I
think
don't
that
like
daily,
long
like the
term.
daily 4 hour time frame, is really starting to flip bearish in my opinion from like a technical standpoint.
Hmm
So, we just got past like so much. We just had a really good market, like move in the market.
Right.
So I don't know. It just feels like we're closer to a short term top than a bottom. We're very far from the bottom we
Not.
put in,
Yeah. I would
like a
agree.
few weeks back. So I don't know. It just doesn't feel like there's a lot more momentum left. It feels like you're starting to lose that momentum on this move up in the market, at least from my like interpretation.
Definitely. And like the fact that um we're testing so many of these previous lows over here,
Yeah, it's a
like
tough
in this
area.
wedge with the divergence
It's
and
like everything's lined up.
CPI. Yeah. And QQQ wasn't, it's not really as clean. I had this demand line here. It's not really there yet, but I couldn't really find a supply line to dry out here. There's 3 touches
Yeah.
over here, so I kind of made that. But also tech is testing a big resistance zone. Um, and SPY actually broke down a bit. Well, at least on my chart today.
Yeah, on lower time frames, I
Um,
got a small breakdown happening too. So it really just comes down to the CPI. Like that's probably the only thing that could like invalidate this short term, other than just like technicals just blatantly not playing out, which is always possible. But yeah,
yeah, exactly. And I don't like when it comes down to major economic news that changes things. Like I'd much rather just be no news and then just trade off the
yeah.
charts.
It's always that way though. It's always when we have like the make or break areas from a technical standpoint. There's some sort of news that's kind of like, all right, we'll take over now.
Yeah, every time. I'm like, why? I don't know. Maybe it's just J Pow or something.
Yeah, maybe. Thomas in the chat saying, who's surprise guest? You can see it on the screen. I put his Twitter handle there. This is Trader Zeek, or Zeek for Bleak in the Discord. Longtime premium member, Discord mod, Discord enthusiast, one of the main members of the community. Oh, there you go. Thomas is saying, oh my, OMG, it's Zeek. And for all of you who are watching the stream, alongside Medi, the person who does the timestamps. So great to have you on the stream, man. I look forward to having you on the stream a lot more. Is there anything else you want to like talk about tonight, or let me know?
Not really. I guess the only other thing maybe would be I was taking a look at Tesla
Yep.
going into tomorrow, which is again tough with CPI, but it's got a nice little pattern here. It held this high over here from July 22nd pretty nicely. Got this bullish engulfing candle here. So I don't know. Maybe something happens in the morning, but tomorrow my
It's
focus.
got a little bit blurry for a second, but what time frame was that?
Oh, this was the 30-minute.
I mean, yeah, I mean Tesla, AMC, GameStop. You could probably find a few others. Like those 30-minute wedges are really starting to form. You got some divergence there too.
Yep.
It's kind of like across the board almost.
Yeah, maybe a couple trades in the morning. Wait out
depending
CPI
on that CPI. Yep.
goes. Yeah. But,
And before I let you go, I want you to answer 2 questions. All right. The first question is, what are your top 3 favorite movies? I'll let you answer.
Oof. Probably have to say Interstellar, definitely.
Okay. That's my favorite.
Well, Step Brothers, and then I love the Star Wars saga. I know it's not a movie, but I mean just one movie, but
no, I'll count that. I respect Star Wars. I know it's a lot of people's favorite. It's just not really like my type of movie, but I definitely respect it, and like I understand it. Like its placing in everybody's rankings. And then my other question, what are your top 3 shows?
Top 3 shows. Ooh. No, I'm not the biggest show guy, but I would say Game of Thrones, probably my number one. I absolutely loved that until the last season. Kind of hurt my heart, but yeah, Game of Thrones, probably The Office, and maybe Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is pretty good.
Yeah, so yeah, again, like same thing with Star Wars. Like what you said, I'm sure a lot of people agree with. Like, you know, for me, like I've only, from those who have only watched The Office, like those are like huge shows, like for sure. I have to respect them. I don't know. I feel like I have a very like particular taste. Yeah, cool. For
What
me,
are your 3 favorite shows?
Yeah, for me, shows, it's tough. I love shows. That's the thing. Lost in Space on Netflix. That's one of my favorites. Peaky Blinders. I just finished watching that. That's one of my favorites. Trying to get another good one. Shows. I used to watch Arrow, like the superhero one. I used to like that a lot. I'm definitely missing something big. I don't know. I've watched a lot of really good shows.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw this out there quick. I saw Gabriel said Rick and Morty. I absolutely love that show.
That's
so
a big one. And then also Gabriel said Karate Kid for the movies. That's another big one. I never watched Starship Troopers or RoboCop. Seinfeld. That's another great show. I love that show. That actually might be like, I would say like top 5 for me. But yeah, and then for movies, Interstellar, Godfather. I actually have a list on my phone. I don't want to have to look at it though. Interstellar, Godfather, maybe Scarface, maybe Wolf of Wall Street, something like that. Yeah, but
gotta have Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, the thing is, I've just watched Wolf of Wall Street so many times. I've probably watched Wolf of Wall Street like 20 times. When I was in like high school, I would just watch it like probably once a month. But yeah, cool. I really appreciate you hopping on the stream. I think you have a very good taste in cinematics, and I look forward to seeing you in Discord tomorrow.
Yeah, man, definitely was fun. Appreciate it a lot, and everything you and your community has done for me. It's a pretty amazing place. Absolutely very grateful to be a part of it.
Awesome. And Thomas in the chat saying, Zeke, you told me My Little Pony is your number one. We'll leave it at that. All right.
Okay.
So, thanks, man. Have a good one.
All right. Yeah, you too. Thanks, guys.
Yep. Bye. All right. So there you have it. Let me put the music back up. So that is Zeke. If you're in the Discord, you know who that is. Great talk. Great talk. Let's head back over here. Hopefully the audio is good. I don't know if I messed it up. And I'm not gonna lie. Thank you, Zeke. You already did the AMC, the GameStop, and the CLOV timestamps for me. So I guess I could just do the rest of the swings. Let me just look at the chat for a second. KTF saying I'm surprised there aren't more Leo DiCaprio movies in your favorite list, champ. I could go into a whole, like, we could do a whole entire stream about my favorite like shows and movies. I'd love to do like a tier list or something. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I love Leo DiCaprio movies. The Great Gatsby is one of my favorites. I only watched that for the first time recently. Let me see if I could actually look up some. We'll do this at the end. I want to do the swings for a second here, and then I'll come back to the movies. While I'm doing the swings, though, for the 19 people in here, while I'm doing the swings, drop your 3 favorite movies in the chat. All right, drop your 3 favorite movies in the chat if you want to, and I'll read those out after I look through a few of these swings. So yeah, just an update on the swings. Best Buy pulled back 3% today. Still up 9% since the entry. We did talk about how it broke out of this triangle yesterday. And right now, you know, it was under it at the lower wick, but in terms of the close, you're kind of back testing the breakout of that triangle again. A lot of these are just going to come down to the CPI reaction from the overall market rather than the actual like individual technicals on each chart. Then we had FCEL, and that was Best Buy is actually the only one that's not hit its first target. So everything else, you know, have already hit their targets. FCEL already hit its first target yesterday, so a little bit of like a shooting star candle today. You've got this gap fill at 416, and then this resistance area is developing around like that 450-ish area. Zeek already talked about CLOV. I have a very similar opinion as to what he said, so we're just going to kind of move on from that. Fisker today, still just in this like relatively same zone. It's been closing like in between like this upper $9 to mid $10 area for a full week now. You know, you're getting like intraday volatility, but not a lot of movement apart from that. The key level that you are testing on lower time frames for Fisker is 970-ish. You're like right at it. If you go to even lower time frames, you probably draw a little bit of a wedge here, and this is kind of the same thing. Zeek was showing like that Tesla wedge, the AMC wedge, the GameStop wedge. A lot of like these like 15-minute, 30-minute charts are developing wedges going into tomorrow. I mean, even like if you look at the SPY, you could probably chart a wedge out of this as well, like that. So that's kind of like the price action heading into tomorrow, but we'll see, because again, you get CPI, right? And let's say CPI, the reaction to it's not good. This wedge means nothing because you could like open up like over here, like completely under it. So it makes it a little bit tougher. And then just for the other 2 swings, again, all these have already hit targets. SOFI hit 2 of the targets, now it's pulling back. It actually gave up that 770 support level. So you do have a gap fill to the downside around 662. And then the upside gap fill because of the gap down today at 787. Then you've got SHAK. This swing hit 2 targets. Second target perfectly hit at 30%. Look at that. And this was alerted down over here. Back then, this targets were identified, these 3 targets, and perfectly tapped that second target before pulling back. Now it's testing a key level, all right, which is the resistance level we were talking about a couple weeks back, which it was able to break above. It's now testing this level as support. So key test right there. That's really it for the swings. Pullback day for most of them, but they've already hit targets, so it's not a big deal. So yeah, futures are currently pretty flat. If you're watching the stream, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, check out the links in the description. Gabriel says, if any of you guys ever tried selling puts for premium, you need capital, but it's the only trading I do now. Gabriel, talk to Lord Bogendorf in the Discord, send him a message. He's very persistent on wanting to sell puts in our simulator ETF that we're running in the Discord. If you don't know what that is, again, the link's in the description. We have me, Medi, Lord, let me look for the channel. We have me, Medi, Lord Bogendorf, HJO, and Anna all running this fake ETF for all of you. I believe, I think can show this chat. I think Lord Bogendorf said it's up 5%, so 5% in 2 weeks. We just restarted it. But it's a really good start. You know, again, the market's been very nice as well, but make sure you check that out. Links in the description. And Gabriel says, LOL, he's the one that invited me. I told him about strategy. Well, that's just, it's very ironic. So there we go. You beat me to it, I guess. And maybe you're the reason that he's very persistent about it. No, you are, because you're saying you told him about strategy. There we go. It's a full circle. That's just great. All right, so let's see. Movies. The Big Short, that's another really good one. Inception, another great one. Iron Man. I'm not a huge Iron Man fan. I like Iron Man, like in the Avengers and stuff. I don't know. Let's see what else. Beavis and Butthead, I heard great things about that. This is kind of, you know, before me though. Social Network, is that like the Netflix one with like Mark Zuckerberg or something? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. I've seen the trailer, but I haven't watched it. Interstellar, yeah. Anybody who has Interstellar in their top 3 movies, I respect you very much. It's the greatest movie of all time. Kicked off the entire Marvel Cinescape with Iron Man and John. Yeah, like I'm definitely more of, I'd say, like a DC type of guy. I loved watching. I don't watch them anymore. I think they ended the Arrow, but I think they still do the Flash. I used to watch Arrow and Flash quite a bit. There was like Legends of Tomorrow, like all those shows were really good. I like the Batman movies. I like a few Superman movies. I'm seeing if I missed anything else. Spider-Man 2. I don't remember. Like, I like Spider-Man. I don't remember that one exactly. Like Spider-Man 2. Gabriel says, I try to teach everyone I can about the magic of options. When used right, are the cheat code to the market. Selling puts intelligently is like being the casino. Casino never loses. Yeah, I love options too. I'm a very like simple options trader, just long calls and long puts. But yeah, I've seen a lot of very smart people doing a lot of very smart option strategies, and heard it's worked pretty well. But I know somebody said Leo movies. I'm trying to think of other Leo movies. Titanic. Yeah, let me see if I could. Alright, yeah, there's a lot that I'm forgetting. Wow, okay. So, I wish there was like a tier list for this. Let me see if there is one. I know somebody's gonna hate me for some of these answers, but it's all good. How can you search Leonardo? Alright, there definitely has to be one. Let me see if I can find a good one. Alright, yeah, this looks like a pretty good one. I don't know all of them though. This probably looks like the best list. Oh, I forgot. This is what I was going to say. The Gentleman with Matthew McConaughey is probably my third. So I'd say Interstellar, The Godfather, and then number 3 is The Gentleman. If you haven't watched The Gentleman, I believe it's on Netflix right now. It is such a good movie. I've watched it probably 4 or 5 times this year. That's what I was trying to think of when I was talking to Zeek. All right, let's see. So this definitely was not the best list, but whatever. I'm just gonna do the ones that I can see clearly and that I know. So Wolf of Wall Street, that's gotta be up there. Don't Look Up, this was like the new Netflix one. I'm gonna put that at C. Alright, I think that was good, but just in terms of like how good Leo's movies are, just, you know, not the best. Titanic, that has to be at the top. Shutter Island, I put it like kind of just average. Great Gatsby, I put that like not as good as Wolf of Wall Street and Titanic, but really good. Where's Inception? Inception, I'd also put next to Gatsby. Not as good as Wolf of Wall Street and Titanic, but very good. Catch Me If You Can, very good as well, but not like the top. This is the Quentin Tarantino one, I believe. Average. The Hollywood one. I'm trying to see if there's any that I see over here that I didn't, but not watched The Aviator. I think those are the ones that I watched. I don't see any others I can remember. So yeah, that's probably how I'd rate his movies, or the movies he was in. There you go. Oh, what's up, Bala in the chat? How you doing? You guys all need to watch The Last Kingdom TV show. Let me see what that is. It's a British television series. It's on Netflix. I'll add that to my list. Gatsby wasn't really an A to me, probably a B. I could see that. Let's see. The Last Kingdom. I actually just watched Legend on Netflix last night. That's a really good one. The Last Kingdom is amazing. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I'm trying to see if there's any other good. I don't know. Is there just like a good movie tier list? There's so many movies though, like it's gonna be hard to pick like one. Yeah, it's just such a broad category. Disney movies, horror movies, Batman. I just want like popular movies. Best movie franchises. Oh, there's a lot here. Whoa. This is gonna take a long time. I don't know if this is gonna be boring or not.
Or else I may be, I don't know, having in charge of a robot court.
This is like, alright, yeah. I'm not gonna do all of these. I'm just gonna kind of do this as quick as I can. Kung Fu Panda.
Or I may be funeral of a computer.
Karate Kid. That's really good. Can't even really see all these. Matrix. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't even watched The Matrix, so I can't rate it. So I'm gonna have to put it here. I need to watch it. It's been in my list forever. This is Dumb and Dumber, I think. That's a good. I only watched one, I think. Then High School Musical. I don't like it. Jaws I've never seen. Superman. Put over there. Batman. I think Batman is one of the best franchises ever. I'd probably put that like an A. So we're just going to include all Batmans for this one. I know there's like different ones, but we're just going to use it because I see like another Batman over here. You guys can't even like see all these, I'm sure. But Rocky, that's got to be a B as well, or an A, sorry.
There just wouldn't be room for
Let me think what else. Transformers, it's okay. Put that next to Superman. Avengers, I'd put that like C. Back to the Future, that's got to be. I only want to put one in S though, and I don't know what I want to put, so I'm gonna put it at A. I want to save S. Back to the Future is like, the movies are so good. Let me just go full screen. It's probably really annoying for all of you. There we go. It's just hard to like read all of these. Like they're so small. Madagascar. I put that next to Kung Fu Panda. Star Trek. I'm not a huge Star Trek person. I put that down over here. What else am I missing? The Hobbit. I haven't seen it. I know a lot of people rate it very nicely, but haven't seen it. I haven't really even seen like Harry Potter's either. It's not really my taste. Same thing. I think it's like the Hunger Games or something. Haven't seen it, but I've heard a lot of things about it. I don't know if this is Despicable Me or Minions, but I'm just going to include both of them together. Really good series. I'll put that next to Avengers. Jurassic Park. We'll just fill it in here. It's okay. Some of them are okay. Ghostbusters. That's really good. I'll put that at C. Godfather. This is probably what I want to say best for. I'd say, I mean, maybe even Rocky could be up there, but I think just widely accepted, I don't think anybody can name a better franchise than The Godfather. If you can name one in the chat, name it. I want to see if anybody can, but that's got to be the best movie franchise ever. Let me see what else I'm missing in here. Fast and Furious, really good. I put it over here, Ippy, next to Karate Kid. I've also heard about Divergent, but I haven't seen it. Harry Potter. I've like seen some, but like I didn't really pay attention. Like I'm not gonna really rate that one. Is this Planet of the Apes? It's okay. I'll put it next to Jurassic Park. I'm not a huge fan of like, I wouldn't even say the sci-fi, but just like those like movies where it's like animals, but like they're like advanced. Like I guess Jurassic Park is really dinosaurs, but like I don't know how to explain it. Like I'm not a big fan of movies where it's like like Jaws. You get what I'm saying? Like movies where it's like animals, but like not really like in like the current real world. I don't know. I'm probably just sounding really weird right now, but hopefully that makes sense to somebody. James Bond. I haven't seen a lot of them, but what I have seen have been pretty good. I'll put it at C. I feel like they're missing a lot of like big. I don't even see Star Wars. There it is. I see. Never mind. Shrek. I'm gonna just put that with like the other like kid movies. Like as a kid, those are probably like in like A and S and whatnot, like all the way up here. But like, you know, then you see like actual movies and you're like, whoa. Narnia. That's another one. Like I've heard a lot about it. Haven't seen it. Ocean's 11, the Ocean's movie is really good. I wouldn't say like they're like the best movies, but they're fun to watch. I put that next to Dumb and Dumber. Ice Age, I'm gonna just put those with the other kids' movies. Yeah, they're missing a lot of big ones, I think. This is Indiana Jones. Again, I just haven't seen them. I've heard a lot of good things, just haven't seen them. Star Wars, I've seen a lot of the newer ones. I would put in like E or D, but out of just respect, because I haven't seen a lot of them, I'm going to move it up to C, just because I haven't seen them and I know a lot of people love them. Toy Story, I'm actually not going to even put Toy Story with the kids movies. Like this has to go with everything else. Toy Story can compete with any genre of movies. Like B, Toy Story is really good. And let's see what else. Another great franchise I love is Kingsman. Really good. I don't see it here though. Rambo, I need to watch Rambo. I love Rocky, but I haven't seen Rambo. Twilight again, haven't watched it. Wolverine, Wolverine, Spider-Man, I'll just put those like in that superhero category. And yeah. Mission Impossible. This is gonna be the last one. Mission Impossible are so hit or miss. Some are like so good, some are just not great. So I'm gonna put it at E. So there we go. This is probably what I'd say in terms of movie franchises. Godfather at the top, Batman, Rocky, Back to the Future, like almost at the top tier, but just not as good as The Godfather. Karate Kid, Fast and Furious, Toy Story, really good, just not the best, or at the level of the best. Avengers, Minions, Despicable Me, Ghostbusters, James Bond, Star Wars, like I think you have to keep those up there as well. They're not like really, really, really good. Some Star Wars fans are gonna hate me for that, but they're good. Dumb and Dumber, Oceans, they're not like movies I think anybody could ever say is like the best movies of all time, but they're good movies, like they're fun to watch. Superman, Transformers, Mission Impossible. I think those are just very like some of those movies are really good, some of them are just not as good. F, I just started putting like the kids movies there, but all of them are pretty good, I'd say. G, Jurassic Park, Planet of the Apes, like I don't know. I think you have to be a very, this is not me trying to disrespect anybody, but I think it's like a very niche like place. Like I get where like certain people could love those types of movies, like very like outdoors people and like people with like I don't really know, like it's just not for me at all. And then it's High School Musical and Star Trek. I've only seen a few Star Treks, to be fair. That could even be in the haven't seen category. High School Musical, even when I was a kid, I could not watch that. So those are probably it. That they definitely are missing a lot, and I probably also missed some in here because it's so hard to like look at all of them. But there you go. Let me know what you think in the chat about how I rated these. I'd prefer to do like just like a regular, not movie franchise, but just regular like movies. Because again, like some of these movie series, like some of the movies are really good in them, and some of them are just not that good. But it's too many movies overall to rate all of them, and yeah. So there we go. Longer stream tonight. It's the first over an hour stream I've done in a long time, and yeah, again, this is just what happens when the market literally does nothing. When it just gaps down and just goes sideways. Like, what else is there to talk about apart from like movies, right? I don't know. But yeah, it feels good to stream longer. I used to do like an hour and a half every single night like last year, and it's like half an hour to 45 minutes now, but here we go. All right, thank you for watching the stream. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Check out all the links in the description, and have a good night. Peace out.